Or good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for choosing New Horizons to help you answer these questions you have. First off, again, my name is Arbor Kegler, and to give you a little understanding about me and about myself, here I am. It's my beautiful picture. Again, Arbor Kegler. I am a regional instructor based out of Southwest Florida, and my corporate office is out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's quite a commute, but I like the company. Again, if you have any questions, you can always get me at akegler@nhpittsburgh.com. As far as education, master's degree in technical management, experience, 26 years in IT, starting out desktop support, going all the way up to general manager and vice president of IT for several Fortune 500 companies. 20 years as a project manager, 8 years working in ITIL, and 10 years as a technical training consultant. Currently, I hold both a PMP certification through the Project Management Institute, and I am ITIL Intermediate certified through the British government in ITIL, and I do teach ITIL for New Horizons. All right. Before I go into giving you your 3 reasons, I wouldn't be a very good instructor if I didn't try to give you a little background, a little understanding, and a reasoning, and then we get into the reasonings of why a company would need ITIL. Well, first and foremost, IT departments have an identity crisis. People that are in IT are drawn to IT. Like myself, I was drawn in because I like the flashy lights. I like working with new technology and software, and anytime somebody is going to pay me to work with that, then that's great. I want to do it. The other side of that coin is companies do business for a reason. They're there to make money. Their core competency is generally not IT. And unfortunately, businesses have their goals, IT has their goals, and sometimes they don't always match up. Well, as a part of that, IT is always looked at as a necessary evil, something we have to have because we're doing business. We have to use computers. We have to have those people that know how to make them work, okay? Now, as I said, many companies look at IT as a pit in which they throw money. Every year, IT comes up and they want some kind of an extravagant amount of money so they can get more machines that flash their lights and do things. And in business, we have a problem reconciling all that money going into IT. Well, ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, which is what ITIL stands for, is a means by which IT can start to show its true value to business. Now, that's not a reason. That's a statement, okay? We're not counting that against my 3 yet, but IT's job is to make sure that the environment, the infrastructure, the tools are up, working, and ready whenever the business needs them, okay? And as a part of that, there is a current and an ongoing investment that has to occur. The difficulty comes in with business is reconciling the amount of income that IT brings in, which as far as business is concerned is generally, it doesn't bring any income. It's a cost center. Money we throw into it. IT is looking at, we're trying to provide the best quality, the best tools that are available so that our company can do the business they need. Well, an individual named Bill Gates, which I'm sure you've all heard his name, is quoted as saying this: information technology and business are becoming inextricably interwoven. I don't think anyone can talk meaningfully about one without talking about the other. Basically what Mr. Gooch is saying is that business and IT cannot exist without each other. IT by itself, if there wasn't a business for us to be used by, we would have no purpose. We would still be the geeks in the dark rooms playing with little bitty pieces of electronics, not being able to use it anyplace else. Business used to be able to work with pencil and paper, but it's gotten far beyond that. We have, globally, we are doing business. And because of that, because of the need having the latest technology, the technology that's going to allow us to send emails, to get our information off the internet, all of those different things, we have to have IT. So it's not that we can do one without the other or we can't do one without the other. It's how we best work both together, okay? Yes, we are woven together tightly, and we are really and truly one entity. How can we make each other, appreciate each other, and work together well? Some comments have been made, and some of the things that we need to look at is, first off, the world is changing faster than it ever has before, and we are redefining the business model on an ongoing basis. We continually change, new requirements are being thrown up, new markets are opening up. We're getting competition from businesses all around the world, where it used to be it was a local market. Now it is truly, with the advent of the internet, a global market. Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Information has become a value in itself, increasing efficiencies and effectiveness of the business. It's what we know, how we know it, how we use that to make ourselves more successful is becoming more and more the driver in business every day that we are there. Also, the term IT, information technology, information systems, whatever it's called, we have multiple meanings, multiple contexts. IT is an organization that we have within our group. IT is a component of our business. IT is a service, and IT is either considered an asset or it's considered a liability. But it's the same word. It's all in how we perceive IT, and we perceive what the value of IT is. And one of the purposes of IT, perhaps the biggest purpose of ITIL, ITIL, is helping IT to show value to the business. When we can show, as IT, when we can show value to the business, we can now become a business partner as opposed to being a liability or a necessary evil. Having been an IT manager, having been a director of IT, having been a vice president of IT, my goal has always been, and IT's goal is always been, to be of value to the company. And there's always been that disconnect. Well, ITIL helps fill that disconnect and helps both entities, the business side of the business, if you were, and the IT side of the business, plug together and work as a single entity on the value that the business in general needs. Challenges? Well, IT and business alignment, it's a common problem, not only for the company itself, for the leadership of IT and the CIO. IT organization has to understand the direction of the business. The popularity of managed service and outsourcing places pressure to run IT as a business. One of the things I did for 8 years is working for an IT outsourcing company, where we went in, took over IT departments, and we managed them as a separate item, separate entity for the business. We did it under contract. We worked through it. We provided the services. And I'll tell you some secrets about IT that are IT outsourcing that you may not be aware of. You probably are, but I'm going to mention them anyway. First off, IT outsourcing is a break-even proposition for the business. And when I say the business, the outside or the outsourcing business, they consider outsourcing contracts as a break-even. Our projects or our contracts were 2% profit at best. Because once we got in there, we knew that because of the way we had written the contracts, we were going to make far more money doing project work than we would ever get to make doing outsourcing. So it was our way into the business. Now, we provided good services, we provided good projects, but we used the same people and the same equipment that you're using right now in your organization to do the same work they're doing. Only we were able to bring in structure, we were able to bring in process, we were able to bring in procedures to be able to do that. Okay. Now just think about what I said. We use the same people you currently have and the same equipment. All we brought in was process, procedure, and oversight. Okay. Well, IT does the same thing. So how can we stay ahead of the curve during these rapidly changing times? How can we manage our IT department to ensure we're providing value to the business? How can we, as IT, become a trusted partner as a business as opposed to a necessary evil? How do we not become optional, which is the big question. Optional being, can we do without it, or can we hire somebody else to do it for us? And every IT department, every CIO, every director of IT knows that outsourcing is right around the corner. Now, I'll tell you another thing about IT outsourcing is we were very successful in managing our contracts, but we very rarely had a second contract with a company or with a group, because once we got it going, the company, our customers saw how well it was running, they would take it back over and run it themselves. And many times our contracts would be 5-year contracts. After the first 5 years, the customer would take it back over, run it for 5 years, and it wasn't uncommon that after that 5 years they would come back to us and have us hire it again. Because again, they have not embraced IT as a partner. They're still looking at it as an option, whether we use it, whether we don't use it. Okay? ITIL is a best practice. And best practices, again, are defined as proven activities or processes that have been successfully used by multiple organizations. There are a lot of different types of best practices out there. ITIL happens to be one owned by the British government. It was developed for the British government because they were having a lot of problems with IT and IT projects, IT services within the British government, and they needed some kind of a standard, some kind of a best practice. They hired some consulting firms. The consulting firms went out, did surveys, looked around, found out what other companies were doing successfully, came back, and the end result is ITIL, the Information Technology Infrastructure Library. Other kinds of best practices under project management, PMI, Project Management Institute, has the PMBOK Guide, 5th edition, which I teach classes on. Public frameworks, ITIL, COVID, CMMI are another best practices. ISO/IEC 20000, all different types. There's also proprietary best practices. Companies internally create their own best practice, and then there are public best practices, public frameworks like ITIL is a proprietary standard developed by and for the British government, and they are put it out there for people to use. Okay, public standards are generally better. They're thought to be better than proprietary ones simply because public ones are kept up to date. Public ones tend to reflect the industry and the best practices of the industry as they change, whereas proprietary standards, ones developed within companies, not all of them, but most of them tend to become, over the years, they don't change, and this is how we do business, and it's the way we've always done business. For a best practice to stay a best practice, it has to improve. It has to change. The British government does not consider ITIL as a best practice. It considers it a good practice. It's a good practice, and it's a practice that we're constantly improving. The term best practice is an industry statement that refers to this is the best way we know of to do something. So ITIL is considered by industry as a best practice. We looked at a graphic to show you the overall structure of ITIL. You would find that it is a component that has 5 pieces. The center, what is at the heart of ITIL, is service strategy. Once we understand the strategy of a service, we then go into service design, where we design it. And by the way, I might add that the service strategy is based around not what IT wants to do, but it's based around what the business wants to do. Again, going back to the concept of we want to show value to the business, we want to be a business partner. IT needs to understand what the business needs are. What is it that you need us to do, Mr. Businessman or woman, that we as IT can provide you so that you can be better equipped to do? So when we talk about service strategy, it's the service strategies that we have for using technology to assist you, the business, to better meet your needs. We are a partner with you. We are here to support you, to provide services to you so that you will be successful. Once we have those strategies in place, we design the services to meet your needs, we transition them, we move them into service operation, where now they are available to you for use and to do your goals and needs. And you'll notice around the outside, we have a continual service improvement process, always looking at how we can do these other volumes of service better. We're always looking to improve. Service strategy, we start out understanding the business strategies, working with the business to be able to better use our knowledge of IT, hardware and software-wise, to provide you whatever it is you need to do to be able to better meet your customers' needs. Service design, service transition, service strategy is all about putting it into play and getting it out there for you to use. Continual service improvement is all about making it better, making the service better, making our processes better, making us a better tool for the business to use. An asset is what we want to become, something that is valued, something that you want to invest in so that we can better serve your needs. Well, I've been talking about service, but let's define service. Service is a means of delivering value to the customers by facilitating outcomes the customers want to achieve without the ownership of a specific cost or risk. Now, there's a couple of terms in there. Customers. There's 2 types of customers in ITIL. There are internal customers, and then there are external customers. Internal customers to IT would be the business units we're supporting. Our business has needs. The business has customers, the external customers, the people that buy whatever our company is providing, whatever service, whatever product, service, or result the business is putting out for sale to external customers. That's external customers. Whatever is within the company that we can help, IT can help our business be more successful, then that is internal customers. Well, and then there's this concept of ownership of specific cost and risk. Now, that's an interesting statement. Professor Levitt, Theodore Levitt at the Harvard School of Business, who was teaching a class on business, talking about services, came up with this statement. People don't want a quarter-inch drill. They want a quarter-inch hole. Now, as an example, when, I don't know about you guys, but when I go home, sometimes I have a wife, I have 4 children, they're all grown up, we have grandchildren now, but when they were at home, many times when I would leave work, I'd call my wife and I'd say, what do you want for supper? Or what are we having for supper? And he said, well, I've been busy. I want you to stop by and pick up a pizza, or I want you to stop by and pick up a bucket of chicken. Okay, now, it's not that we couldn't make our own pizza, and it's not that we couldn't cook better chicken than we get from fast food. But the concept there is it was more convenient for us to pick it up than it was for us to make it. And our customers don't want to know how much it costs us to produce our end product. They just want our end product, and that's what we need to provide to them. And in ITIL, instead of providing you with hardware and software that you will use to produce, to fill your end needs, whatever that may be, ITIL, the process here is that IT itself is going to provide a service that you will need and you will want to use, that you don't want to know what the technology is behind it, you just want to be able to use it. When you pick up your phone, you want to hear a dial tone and you want to be able to punch buttons and have somebody come up the other end. And that is all about not understanding or not concerning about all the technology that goes into getting that call made. It's just you want to make the call. You pick up, punch the buttons, and expect somebody on the other end to pick up, or you expect to leave a message for them. And that's the way IT under ITIL would become, is a service provider to the business. So services, again, we can divide those into internal services and external services, delivered between businesses or business units within the same organization. As internal, external is delivering to the external customer. A service that you're probably already using that would fit both categories would be internet service. When you as a company use the internet to do research, to find out things, send email, whatever that is, you're an internal customer of IT for that internal service of internet provision. If you have an internet store where customers are buying your product over the internet, that's an external service, again, provided by IT, that's servicing your external customer. Again, you as a company, you as a service, you as a customer don't care what it takes to get to the internet. You just want to get there. Well, that's what the internet service of IT is all about. And again, IT deals with the hardware, the software, the connectivity, and all that stuff. You as an internal customer just want to be able to use that service as a means of being able to provide to your external customers what they need. External customers come to your website to buy something. It's like they walk into your store. They want to go there, they want to buy it, and they want to leave. They're not concerned about what the cost is or what the equipment is or the software is. They just want the end result. Services are enabling services are what allow you to do the core service. The core service in my example was the internet service. Core services, we'd have to have web servers, we would have to have web software, we have to have a contract with an outside ISP to be able to provide it. But again, the customer, you internally and your customer outside of the company that uses your services on the web, don't care about that. That's all IT's responsibility. Part of the service we provide. And again, our customers are taking you or using that service for the best purpose to provide services to your external customers. External customers are getting the end result they're looking for. Service management, another component of ITIL, a set of specialized organizational capacities for providing value to our customer in the form of services. It's all about how we as IT, using the ITIL framework, can provide the professional services to a global standard that will help us be successful in providing services to our company, our internal customers, that will make them successful. IT service management, again, is the implementation and management of quality IT services that meet the needs of the business. IT service management performed by IT people, providing an appropriate mix of people, processes, and information technology. We're the guys behind the scenes that make things happen. It's the services we provide. Now, in IT service management, we can either be looked at as a category of services utilized by business and treated as an expense, a collection of services and applications and infrastructure. I mean, we can be looked at as an expense that's a bunch of boxes and wires and software that we as a business use to make things happen. Or, if applied appropriately, ITIL allows us to be a category of business assets which are treated as an investment into the future, and an organization with its own set of capabilities and resources that are helping the business be successful. Now, in summing up, I was supposed to give you 3 reasons. Well, being an instructor, I can only give you what I know. And in fact, I have 5 reasons there. 1, using ITIL, you'll get improved quality of IT services through the execution of consistent and repeatable processes that are globally used and globally accepted. Number 2, improved IT organizational efficiencies through the use of ITIL processes and well-defined roles and responsibilities. Number 3, better partnership between IT and businesses as a result of improving communication and establishing common points of reference. Business needs being supported by IT services. Lower cost per unit by leveraging efficiencies to improve productivity of IT staff and infrastructure resources. And lastly, meaningful and measurable metrics that gauge IT service performance in business terms. Instead of talking about technical things, IT will be presenting in business terms that are measurable and make them accountable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have now talked for 28 minutes. And I have tried to provide you with a very brief understanding of what ITIL is, what it is meant to do, and I have provided you with not just 3 but 5 different reasons. If you have some questions, please let me know. I thank you for your time. I thank you for allowing me to go on and talk to you about that, and I thank you for attending this session. So, Mr. Anthony, do we have any questions?
So I don't see any questions yet, but if you guys want to ask anything, feel free right now, and I'll relay it to Aubrey. So I have a question that said, I missed the first few slides. Could I have the presentation emailed to me? So yeah, definitely, absolutely. I'm going to be putting this also up onto YouTube using the recording that I just made. As well, Aubrey, do you mind emailing me your slides and I can put them up on SlideShare? And if you contact your representative at New Horizons, they can email that over to you.
Not a problem. I would be glad to.
I answer your question. I believe your name is pronounced Miran. He says yes. That's great. Are there any other questions? So I'm not seeing any other questions. So with that, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Aubrey and myself will hang around for another 2 or 3 minutes in case people are just typing it up and we haven't gotten to them yet. But otherwise, have a great afternoon and a wonderful weekend, and thank you again for coming out.
Thanks again, everybody. I sure appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
We got a comment saying, thank you, excellent presentation, and I know Aubrey always appreciates comments like that.